Back. Thanks again for joining us. Let's talk about beautiful things now, cosmetics and such. South Africa has so much glorious greenery to offer, and developments have been made in cosmetology that could potentially introduce global investment in the cultivation of local crops. Homegrown products are have been emerging at least, that could compete with your best in skincare products across the world. Professor Namrita Lall from the Department of Plant Science at the University of Pretoria joins us now to discuss this a bit further. Prof, a very good morning to you. Thank you again for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Professor, speak to us perhaps about the most sought after plants in South Africa with regard to cosmetics and also some of their properties.
As you mentioned just now, that the plant diversity of South Africa is amazing. It has got beautiful plants. It's basically the third largest in the country, in the world, I suppose, after Brazil and Indonesia. So it has got 1/10 of the world's population. And the traditional knowledge, people have been using these plants for various purposes, for skin problem, oral care, and so on for centuries. So yes, I would emphasize that there is a huge potential for cosmeceutical product development in this country.
And that's an area that's seemingly untapped at the moment, is it not?
Yes, for sure. There's huge potential, but not much work has been done, and that's what our research team is being involved with. We are actually trying to explore if we can scientifically prove the potential of this country and translate the traditional usage into valuable products.
And tell us about the role of the legal framework with regard to making sure that we really go in and tap into this particular market. Are there any restrictions that are prohibiting us, perhaps?
Well, as we are trying to, through our research, we are trying to empower the community and move on with them so that we can see if we can help them to advance their traditional usage of plants into products. Strictly, the government has got the rule regulation in place, and we strictly follow whatever rule we need to follow in terms of benefit sharing and so on. So we, before commercialization, we do have to comply with all the rules. And there has been good support from the government and the university, so I'm positive. For sure, we do wish that we will find good products which will be soon launched in the market.
I love that. I always tell young people that whatever you're passionate about, you can make money out of. And if you're passionate about beauty and beautiful things, you can go into this sector and make sure that we have a L'Oreal that's homegrown in South Africa. So skincare ranges, makeup lines that are proudly South African. I think it's about time. Tell us a bit about your role and your contribution towards this.
From our research team, I would say that there are about 11 products which are close to be launched in the market. As I said about the community, we are trying to empower them. I've been involved with quite a few communities around the countries. Some of them are, just to name a few, in Mamelodi community, and then at Lilydale Village, Eastern Cape. So we wish that we get there has been a greenhouse established already in the community, and I wish that one day we have a small scale factory so that these communities can make their product on their own. All these are, like you mentioned, that it's for skincare, skin tone products, for sunscreen, for acne, and so on. And these are some of these are competing very well with the imported actives, and in some cases they are even better than those. So we hope that through our program we can kind of bridge the gap between the farmers, the local people, and the scientists, and move on. This can benefit the country as a whole.
Love it. There have been some products, as you've just mentioned now, bio-oil, Environ, and I think it's Africology, correct me if I'm wrong, which have been developed originally in South Africa and making strides internationally. What sort of lessons can be learned from how these organizations or products have been conducted, from how they've used local brands, local ingredients? What sort of lessons can be learned there?
Well, I would say that as the country has got huge potential, it is third largest in the world. There are many endemic plants here, which are endemic means only found in this country, nowhere else in the world. So we as scientists and researchers, we need to work hand in hand with the local people, those who have been using these plants for centuries, get their knowledge, involve them, and move into scientific exploration, have correct scientific data to prove whether it works or not, and then have the local people as well to share the benefits and move on, because in that way it can beneficiate the local endemic plants, it can beneficiate the farmers, it can lead to job creation, and in that way one can also bridge the gap between various role players, which can benefit the entire nation.
I agree. Thank you so much for your time, Namrita Lall. You've got me all excited, proving further that science doesn't have to be boring. It can be beautiful and it can benefit our economy as well. Namrita Lall, thank you so much for having joined us. The professor from the Department of Plant Science at the University of Pretoria. There's something to it, I'm telling you, because if you go to parts of the Eastern Cape and other areas in South Africa, and you see how people use some of the mud to make their skin look beautiful. Our mothers of old, I'm telling you, had perfect skin. Tina, we're wasting a lot of money using all sorts of things that are just not quite the same. So we need to tap into our natural resources here in South Africa, especially in the beauty industry. Let's leave it there for now. Quick ad break. More when we come back.